If you can't notice the opportunities around you, it's not because they're not there. It is, however, because your energy is low. If you operate at a high energy, three things will happen. One, you're able to see the possibilities around you. You are able to connect with people from a more aligned space. And third, you can attract the experiences that other people miss. It's not luck, it is science. I'm Noor, and in this video we are going to explore how energy shapes your life and how you can deliberately raise your energy so that you can create a better reality for yourself. Here's what we're covering today. 1, what research tells us about energy, consciousness, and luck. 2, how higher energy changes the perception you have for your life. And 3, I'm going to give you 3 steps to lifting your energy directly from the Brave Project method. All references for the research that I'm using in this video will be in the description below if you want to go and check it out for yourself. Your energy determines what you notice. And here we're going to look at people who perceive themselves as being lucky and people who perceive themselves as not lucky. Research shows that people who perceive themselves as lucky tend to notice more opportunities around them. In one experiment by Richard Wiseman, the participants were asked to count photographs in a newspaper. In the newspaper, there was a large ad that said, "Stop counting, there are 43 pictures here." Here's the really interesting part. People who believed they were lucky directly found that ad because it was large, it was in front of them, and it had the answer. They believed that they were lucky enough to see answers everywhere. However, people who perceived themselves as unlucky skimmed right past it. This leads us to this key insight that energy shapes perception. Another beautiful field of work that I really like to look into is Dr. David Hawkins' Map of Consciousness. It shows how higher levels of energy, like think courage, joy, and love, tend to expand your awareness. Whereas low energy states like fear, shame, and anger narrow your perception. Higher energy allows you to perceive the world through a wider lens. It allows you to think more clearly and act more effectively. Not to say that being in lower energy states is bad per se. It does, however, cause us to narrow down our focus, narrow down our perception into fixing or dealing with the space that we are in. All right, so what happens when we raise our energy? So far, we know that it allows us to perceive more experience in life. It allows us to be more open and direct and more present with people. Lucky people are not lucky by design. They are lucky by choice. And that's why your energy can actually open up your reality to new possibilities. Not because those possibilities don't exist or didn't exist before. It simply allows us to remove the blinders and see more clearly. How do you raise your energy? 3 steps that I love to teach in my Brave Project session. First one, check your baseline. You can only lift your energy or change your state when you acknowledge where you are right now. So by checking the baseline, how do I feel right now? Where am I right now? I usually tell my clients, locate yourself. Locate yourself in your life, in your experience, in your mindset. Locate where you are. You could feel contracted, you could feel expanded, you could feel high, you could feel low. So the descriptions here don't necessarily need to be very logical, but they can definitely be sensorial, they can be sensory, they can be textured. Second step, engage your body. So once I locate where I am, once I locate how I feel, then I can engage with my body, meaning I stand tall or I sit tall, I focus on my breath, I notice where my body is experiencing that openness or that tightness, because your posture and your breath and being grounded in both allows you to shift your energy, to shift your state by regulating your nervous system. So the third step is setting your intention and then taking action. What does that mean? I do not set an intention for how the world needs to meet me. I set the intention for how I am going to meet the world. It's my anchor. And once I set that intention based on what kind of day I would like to have, or what kind of conversation with the person I would like to have, depending on the context I'm trying to create in my life, or I would like to have, I would like to experience, I set an intention. And from that intentional space, I take action. Because here's the thing, when you combine a sense of awareness and then an embodied state of being, meaning you are in your body, you recognize how you're feeling, and third, you're taking small actions to lead you to the outcomes that you hope you have, you start to see more possibilities, you make better choices, and you attract the experiences that match your energy. So in conclusion, your energy is the filter through which you see your life. When you are feeling angry, when you are feeling ashamed, when you are feeling guilty, when you are having all of these types of emotions that cause you to contract, naturally you will see the world as opposite, as oppressive, as something that is forcing you to a state of deeper contraction. However, when you work on your energy, when you work on lifting that state, on moving yourself from that position into a different position where the world is not necessarily against you, you will start noticing that what you believe is also being met by the world. So try it, lift your energy, see what happens, be more intentional, see what happens. If you like this video and you haven't already subscribed or pressed the like button, please do so. It will help this channel tremendously. And if you are ready to go deeper into your own work and experience these shifts for yourself, check out the link in the description for Brave Project. There I will guide you into embodying that energy, into deepening your sense of self-trust and making these choices that you really want to make from a much clearer and cleaner space. This is all. See you next week. Thank you for watching.